in a law enforcement situation where there's hostages, where there's been a shooting, there's been bombings, everything on the ground is evidence, and any disruption of it could result in loss of prosecution of the perpetrators because of the chain of custody and the evidence and all the sort of things that they have to take into consideration. So we give them didactic lectures in the classroom of how law enforcement is conducted for those who are not familiar with it, and then we talk about what skill sets are needed to perform adequately in a tactical environment. And so we discuss these didactically in the classroom. We have breakout sessions and workshops, and then we bring them out to the range. We give them some firearms familiarization so that they can do weapons handling, put weapons on safe, are familiar with different types of weapons, and then we wrap all this together and we do tactical medical scenarios in which they've got a tactical problem and they've got a medical problem that they have to solve simultaneously. And this then shows them how to perform as a medical provider in a law enforcement austere tactical environment.
This program, the 2-week Tactical International School of Tactical Medicine, TACMED, was funded through the UASI Homeland Security funding. We made a decision under the Training and Exercise Committee that we needed to go ahead and promote this gap analysis that Monterey County needs to where fire, law, and EMS need to work together, because during a catastrophic event or a terrorist type attack or an active shooter event in the school or in the community, that they need to practice and train together.
Typically, anymore on how AMR or how any type of medical service provider or the fire department operates is they won't go into a scene until it's what we call Code 4, till it's completely secure, till the threat has been neutralized or is no longer there. This provides a major problem, not only to the SWAT team, but also to the public as a whole. You get into incidents like school shootings, active shooter situations. We've had several down in Santa Monica. They had an active shooter. In situations like that, fire and AMR in this county would stage a distance away, wait for law enforcement to arrive on scene, find whatever the threat is, neutralize the threat or make the threat so there's no longer a threat, and then we would call for fire and AMR to come in. What happens is that actually decreases the response time for medical services to be provided to victims, suspects, or other officers who may be involved and may have been injured fatally.
The reason that it's critical for our paramedics to join up with the SPD SWAT team members is for officer safety, first and foremost. Like structure fires for firefighters, SWAT operations are one of the most dangerous things that police officers do. And their team members are hand-picked, qualified, probably above the standard officer on the street in special weapons and tactics. By having that uniqueness and the types of incidents that they go to, hostage situations, people at gunpoint, robberies in progress, you name it, those type of incidents have a high probability of impacting an officer's safety. So by putting our experienced paramedics with SWAT training now, so they understand the concepts that SWAT members are trained under, they understand their techniques or terminology, they're right there on scene to render any first aid needed if an officer were to have an incident.
How many people saw the explosive device in his hands?
I did.
What'd you think of it?
I didn't like it.
It has a pulse. We just happen to have a pediatric airway set. I need that back after the scenario. Hey, doctor, you're taking OPA already?
You had a baby that was not breathing. Why are these people not breathing?
Blast injury?
Yeah, blast injury, overpressured lungs. So they both needed airway management initially. I think you did a good job on that, especially on the peds. Who intubated the infant? Don did? Very good job. Excellent.
In this sense, they're going to be a lot closer to the action. So whether if they're in the stack as we're going in, or if they're real close by, like in an armored vehicle or something like that. So if something bad does happen, the SWAT team can bring them to the armored vehicle, or if they're actually in the stack, they're right up there with us. We'll establish like a room to where we can do our work, bring in our witnesses or our victims, get them treated and get them out of there as soon as we possibly can. And it's just a much faster response time for medical treatment should anything go wrong.
In the holster.
once you get done, you get your gun. Holster, are they all,
They're set. They're all set. Put them in your holster. Don't do anything to them.
Takes a little bit of an organizational skill to do all this, but we figured it out over the last 18 years that we've been doing it. If you think about it, the EMTs and the paramedics and the physicians or nurses or PAs or whoever's in the class, they already know what they know how to do, right? They don't come here an EMT and leave a paramedic. They don't come here a nurse and leave as a doctor. They already have a set of skills and they know how to perform it very well. But what they don't know how to do is to perform those skills in an austere tactical environment. Because doing pre-hospital care, emergency medicine, is a lot different than doing emergency medicine, what we call tactical medicine, in a law enforcement environment, because you're dealing with a crime scene, you're dealing with evidence preservation, you're dealing with all these other issues that don't take place when you're showing up to take care of a 85-year-old woman who's in congestive heart failure in a double wide in a trailer park. There's no crime scene, nothing's evidence. You just go in, load them up, take them to the hospital.
He's in there, but there's also other people in there that live in these barracks also, okay? So he's active right now, and he went up there. There were definitely shots, multiple shots fired up there, and you guys need to get it on and get up there, okay? What's our priority here? Stop this guy, right? He's shooting people actively. So give me a team leader, get it established, get a stack, and let's do it. You ever get your guns up, ready to shoot. Get knocked down, point to the ground, get him up. All right. Get it, man. We gotta find this guy. Hear him all the way? Where's that coming from? Sounds like the left. All right, tell him. Let's go to the left. Tell him. Watch your right quarter. Go, good man.
Somebody take him?
We're going into this room. Airway established as well as inclusive dressing. Someone will literally come when he's got.
We also have a decompression on the left lung.
Okay.
You may have the SWAT personnel in one area of a building, but now we have SWAT-trained paramedics actually extracting patients, taking them to a safe area of refuge for treatment, and ultimate transport to facilities in our area. So having that combination of knowledge and that sharing of knowledge really impacts not only officer safety, but also the safety of the public. Our paramedics now understand SWAT techniques, have that level of training, and can more quickly react in those situations than we had before.
Listen up. The reason I said get in there and get him is once you guys have him cornered, have him in there, and he starts unloading on you guys, you're already in the doorway, you got to commit. You got to just start gunning them like you guys did. You guys were exchanging fire. Awesome. Just advance on him. Get in there, and go for it.
Monterey County Sheriff's SWAT team, we've got Salinas Police SWAT team, and the Salinas Fire paramedics. We've got Santa Cruz. We have 12 students from Santa Cruz and also Oakland. So it benefits them regionally and it benefits the community by having our teams better prepared in case we have an officer down incident. We actually have this fully funded by Homeland Security funding. This program was probably about $160,000 to put together. So we were blessed as far as receiving this grant, and it benefits the community by offsetting their budgets from all the agencies.
In today's economy, with the government agencies not having the money that they used to have, it's more than ever, now more than ever, we're actually working together closely. And out in the field, outside of a SWAT scene situation, there are times when fire departments only have 2 members on their fire engine, and they ask for the deputies to respond and help, or we're helping them with structure fires or medical scenes. So because of the way the economy's been, this is going to be the future, especially with the rise in terrorist activities, active shooter situations, school shootings. It's just a matter of time before it hits really close to home. And it's fortunate enough that we were able to get the Homeland Security money to at no cost to the departments, able to put the paramedics through this type of training, able to put the SWAT team members through this type of training, and then myself as well.
1, 2, 3. Reassess lungs now. Continue bagging. Are we ready to go? We're ready to rock. We're going to need one more person. Okay.
So far, I mean, it's been very valuable. It's been outstanding. The department seems to be really behind us on this because they realize, I mean, we're planning for when it happens, not if it's going to happen, and that's really the attitude that you have to take. I mean, especially in law enforcement, fire, and EMS. It's going to happen one day, and you just got to be ready for it. And it's been very supportive, and I hope we get to have more training like this in the future so that Monterey County is better prepared, or we can assist other counties because we've been there, we've done the training, and we're eager to prove that we can do this under stress and be able to help out the adjoining counties around us.
This has probably been one of the best trainings I've had the pleasure of attending. It not only incorporates tactics and what we call force-on-force scenarios, which is basically paintball on steroids. I mean, it's not just a paintball gun. We're shooting simunition rounds, which are a little paintball attached to a cartridge, through our actual duty weapons. They shoot about 400 feet per second. So you actually get to see firsthand what works, what doesn't work, because if it doesn't work, you get a little paint mark on yourself. It's a way, going back to the lifesaver course that a lot of the SWAT team members have taken. I mean, that course should be taken by every law enforcement officer in the county of Monterey. It's just an invaluable resource. It's something that gives the first-in units that are going to be on scene first to a shooting, to a school shooting, to an active shooter's situation, to a bombing. Law enforcement is going to be there first. Why not get these guys trained up to a level where they can actually help someone medically before fire and AMR have the chance to respond and be able to make patient contact?
I always feel I feel good at the end of the 2 weeks when I have a feeling that my students they come to me and they tell me, wow, I learned so much these 2 weeks, and I have some new tools for my toolbox to take out in the field, and they'll come up to me and they tell me I'm going to be able to do a so much better job out in the field now because I know what to do. I know what to do, why not to panic, and how to take care of things that I didn't think I would be able to take care of before.
Under our current budget situation, there would be no fiscal way that we could hold that caliber of training for that long with our personnel here in the county. So by the OES department being so aggressive with grants and going after these much needed grants, that was the paramount reason that we had it. Obviously Monterey County is a beautiful area, and if you're going to have a class, I mean, what better area to have a class in? The facilities that we got comments back were outstanding in terms of the techniques and all the procedures that they had to utilize. But I think most importantly, it's that partnership that not only law does, but fire does here in the county with our OES office, that we're able to bring such great training here that's much needed.
They now know each other. They also know that they're now part of a team, just not SWAT and paramedics and law patrol. They're actually one team together. So should a disaster happen in Monterey County, they train together and they're prepared.